Hey nerds, I will review my top 5 moments and honorable mentions from the 11th episode of The Pitt Season 2, starting now. Welcome back to the Nerd Social. I am Colin. Before we start, chapter times are below if you want to skip ahead. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, please check out our website, thenerdsocial.org, for more reviews and analysis from our contributors. So, episode 11 is titled 5 p.m. It is written by Valerie Chu and is directed by Uta Briesewitz. Spoiler-free logline of this episode is while King struggles to cope with her sister's newfound independence, patients and staff are put on edge by an unexpected presence in the ER. So this 11th episode definitely brought up something even more controversial than previous episodes. If the patient who lacks health insurance or the Haitian family being separated due to hardline immigration policies made some viewers uncomfortable about the reflection of today's reality and wishing to leave politics out of it, then they would be even more triggered. As I've stated in previous reviews, healthcare is political, and an emergency room in the United States highlights the realities of the country around us. Sure, there may be a more liberal bent to it, because inevitably it's Hollywood, but I would counterpoint that by saying that if a rural hospital closes in a community, guess where they're going to end up being? It's an emergency room like the Pitt. Also, if you see what you see on a daily basis like these frontline ER people do, doesn't it make you see and question your politics in a profound way, or folks like that can compartmentalize? I feel that some viewers see this and don't like the reflection coming back at them. In terms of rating, I would give this episode a 9 out of 10, which is a movie marathon. There were other storylines that appear in this episode, but it definitely was overwhelmed and dominated by the ICE storyline, as was seen in the preview leading up to this episode. At least it gets people talking, but to me, I've seen this reality happen at my current workplace, where many are in constant fear and uncertainty regarding the hardline immigration tactics from the federal government. Obviously, there has been less coverage of ICE due to the public backlash from the events in Minnesota and also the ongoing war with Iran, but it does not mean that they're not out there. And as of this recording, the president has said that ICE agents will be in airports to take over for TSA agents who are not being paid. So who knows what escalation is going to happen with ICE in the future. In any case, as I review my top 5 and honorable mention moments, there are spoilers ahead for The Pitt Season 2, Episode 11, so get ready for that right now. So my honorable mention number 2 is Roxy's death is confirmed. So they cut to black from the previous episode as Dr. McKay injects more morphine into Roxy to dull the pain, but we knew as the audience that it was the end. Roxy has been a constant since episode 5, and they really handle this whole storyline with a lot of care and respect. It gave me a window of the emotions and the process when someone is near the end, when most folks don't even have to think about it until they have to experience it firsthand. My first honorable mention is Ogilvie's blind spot. We saw Javadi's patient almost dying last week due to her oversight, but now it's Ogilvie's turn when his patient goes through an abdominal aortic aneurysm due to his oversight. While it's not really all on him because Dr. Mohan is the one supervising him, Ogilvie continues being humbled hour after hour. He admitted to Robby that this is not what he expected, but I get a feeling that he is rethinking whether or not the Pitt is the place for him in the future. To me, that's hard to say whether or not he will want something less demanding, or would he like to be in the middle of the farm on fire. So right now, it's a 50-50 for me in terms of whether or not he'll be back. My number 5 moment is Mel's admission. There were some tense moments last week between Mel and her sister Becca about Becca's life choices. Mel almost lashed out before Langdon had to intervene in this episode. She was able to speak with Nurse Dana about her anxiety being alone, and Nurse Dana did a good thing to get her back on her feet. However, it'll be very interesting to see if Mel ends up speaking with Becca when her shift is over so that Becca knows how Mel really feels, because, you know, where they are in their relationship right now is not very good. My number 4 moment was McKay missing Roxy's death. She had to treat another patient outside the Pitt who was homeless, so she was actually doing her job because she felt that Roxy will get a couple of hours, but she really didn't. She really goes above and beyond for her patients. There's plenty of cases so far in the pit of going against proper protocol with patients. Mel with Becca, Robby with Duke, Dana with Digby, but McKay just takes it to another level. She and Dana really wears their emotions on their sleeves when it comes to their patients. As a side note, to Santos' credit, she also cares as well, but definitely the care and compassion prize goes to Dana and McKay. My number 3 moment is Santos and Langdon's continuing beef. Whereas the relationship between Becca and Mel has a chance of healing, this one has close to 0 chance for now. Santos made it very clear for Langdon to stay out of her way. However, like any Hollywood twist, there may be a time where Langdon will save Santos' ass at something, and he might get some redemption in her eyes. Santos is a hard ass and one of the most unlikable characters in the show, along with Ogilvie. Although she does have some charm here and there when she was singing to the baby, but that's just her personality. And the writers have to show all facets of the nurses and doctors that are there. And sometimes even when a person like Langdon is doing all the right things, it may not be enough for someone like Santos. My number 2 moment is Nurse Emma being held in a chokehold on top of the ice agents, which we'll get to. Emma is being choked out by an overly reactionary pro golfer at the very end when it cuts to black at the end of episode 11. Seriously, she has seen some shit on her first day. Digby, the SA victim, and now this. Her doe eyes, along with Javati's, are getting a crash course in reality during this season. Wonder who would be the one that's going to get her out of this one. We haven't seen Abbott because he's been sleeping for his night shift, so maybe him, because he has been that hero type throughout the season. Or maybe Whitaker, someone that is really unexpected. Or one of the nurses like Donnie. But if it's Robby or Dana, then it would be too obvious, but we will hopefully find out next week to see what happens with Nurse Emma. And then finally, number 1 is the ice agents. This was very tense, and it could have been a much worse situation. Even with the arrest of Nurse Jessie, who's pictured here, you could really tell that Robby was walking a tightrope to give the agents the space they need and realizing that patients and nurses are being lost because of their presence. This is all too real in my line of work as an educator, where I am losing students and families because of the fear of being picked up by ICE, whether they are undocumented or not. As a side note, I said very clearly to some that I disagree with back in 2024 that ICE would not differentiate documented or undocumented. They just see skin color or language and arrest you. This is not just, to me, a fear-mongering tactic. This has been in history. Way back in 2011, there was a law in Arizona that was very similar to this, and it's now just much more pronounced because it's gone nationwide. It was definitely a risk for the show to show this storyline, but this is the reality emergency rooms are facing. Now, if you want to see the show as a purely escapist pursuit, then this is the wrong show for you to latch on to. I always suggest you go to somewhere else for your entertainment, because this is real. This is what's happening in the emergency room, and this is a reflection of, as I said before, of who we are right now in this country. So those are my top 5 moments and honorable mentions from the Pitt Season 2, Episode 11. Tell us what your favorite moments were from this episode by commenting down below. Like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. And we will see you next video. All right. Take care, everybody.